2017 has been a tough year on a lot of levels. Many people are finding it difficult to look forward to a fresh start in the new year, especially those who have suffered a loss. Counselor and forgiveness coach Brenda Reese is here to help us move things forward in a more positive direction. Welcome. How are you? It's good to meet you. What is a forgiveness coach? I've never heard of such a thing. I'm very glad there is one.
There is. A forgiveness coach, what I do is I help people learn how to forgive. A process I teach them. Instead of saying, you need to forgive, right? Which we're told that, many of us don't know how. So we get stuck in that. So I actually teach a process.
Well, that's a good point, because we'll say, let it go, get over it, but what does that even mean? It's not an instantaneous thing. So tell me about the process.
So the process that I get to teach is a tangible 5-step process where I walk people through where they can tell the story and we find the patterns and we get to feel the feelings, which most of us don't like. And then we get to, how do we reframe that? How do we turn that around so that they can get their power back? Because when we are angry or resentful at someone else, then we're giving our power away to them and we aren't able to live the life that we want to live.
It's interesting that you say, you start with listening and feeling the feelings and all of that, because I feel like sometimes when people are embittered or they have a weight, other people don't want to hear about it, right? The more common response is, just don't think about that, let's move on.
Yes.
But it's important to express it, right? And then figure out what to do with it.
Exactly, and that's what I recommend, is there's journaling to get it out, or talking is the best, especially for women. We like to emote a lot that way, and it just gets it out of our body, and we feel held, we feel heard, which is extremely important.
And then sometimes people hang on to those things, right? So what is the process for convincing somebody to actually let it go?
Well, so what I get to do is just listen deeply. So when you really look at somebody and you say, I care, that's when they feel, okay, it's safe to be able to let that go, because we get something out of it. We get something out of holding on.
And like what? Can you give me an example of how that works?
Yeah, so if I'm holding on to my anger, that means I don't have to take responsibility. If I'm blaming someone else, like if I've gone through a breakup or a job loss, then if I'm blaming them, then I don't have to take responsibility for my life. It's their fault. And
that can have its own reward.
It has its reward,
sort of way.
right? Because then I'm kind of licking my wounds, and then I don't have to go out and find a different job or do a different thing.
But if we do that, we're stuck there, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
We're stuck there, and we need to move on. So people sort of put a lot of pressure on themselves about New Year's resolutions and that kind of thing. I've sort of resolved not to have resolutions for that reason.
Me too.
I sort of take it up when I feel like I'm ready to take it up. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
So when we talk about a clean slate for a new year, it doesn't mean you have to snap your fingers on January 1st, but maybe just begin this process.
Oh, most definitely. And really, beginning the process is really actually kind of fun, because you can take a look at the year, and take a look at not only kind of the things that upset you or resentful about, but also the things that good that happened. Because we hold on to the bad things, and kind of like when we're like Velcro. And then the good things are like Teflon. They slide off, but we hold on to the Velcro.
Is it true that those things that scare us or make us feel bad actually light up more parts of our brain than the things that make us happy? Like, we're sort of hardwired to be aware of what scares us or bothers us for our own safety. But if we don't get out of that place, then we have the chance of being overwhelmed by those feelings. So
true. And that's just a repatterning of the brain, and in the forgiveness work, that's what we do, is we repattern, and it takes a little work, no lie, it takes work, but because we're hardwired for that, what we want to do is switch that so that we can hold on to the good stuff and let the bad stuff go
away. Well, if a person has suffered, a terrible, genuine loss during this year, then the holidays can also be, stressful, right? Because it seems to underline whatever it is that you're going through. If it's good, then it makes that better. If it's not good, it makes that worse. How can we be helpful to the people around us?
Be available to listen. And some people aren't. But be available to listen and to reach out. So if you know someone has suffered a loss, then of any kind, whether it's a death or a loss of a job or an animal or whatever that is, be kind and reach out, because you would want that same thing. So make yourself available. Now it's up to them to take that or not, but be available to them and let them know that you're there to listen.
And so when you do listening, do you make suggestions or do you just actively sort of reflect back what that person is saying? What's the best kind of listening when somebody is engaged in discussing a feeling of loss or pain?
Yeah, the deep listening is the best, and reflecting back. So what I do is when I listen, I'm searching for clues and little cues in there for the patterns and the things that of why they're feeling that way. And if you're just with a friend, you know, you just want to make sure that you acknowledge, you're nodding your head, you're acknowledging, and that you're listening to them. You don't even need to reflect back. You know, you don't need to do that. Just go, just like, yeah, I so understand that. Yeah, I understand that. I love you. I don't know what to say, but I'm here for you.
And that would feel good.
Yes.
You have a forgiveness list, correct?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes, the forgiveness list is one of my favorites because on the list you get to put the things that irritated you, you know, for the year.
Right.
People, places, institutions, situations, and then you put on the other side, you put how are the feelings? What did I feel about that, and a little bit about it. And then on the other side of that, you're going to put what kind of good came out of that. What kind of gift did you receive?
Did I learn something? Did I
Yes. Yes.
find out something about myself? Was I able to turn it forward?
Yes.
And so writing things down in a list like that, in a forgiveness list, does that help us process the information if we're not able to, for example, talk it through?
Oh, most definitely. Because when you're writing down the person or the situation, you're writing a little bit about what it is. You can see the pattern. So if you're angry all the time at everybody, that's a really neat pattern. You go, oh, maybe I need to look at that. So you can see that, or if you're resentful, or if you're trying to numb out, you know, what is it? What is the feeling? What am I doing? And then you can really take a look at that and decide, what do I want to do? Do I want to reach out to somebody for some help? You know, besides a friend, maybe a coach or therapist, maybe I need that.
We can make choices.
We
Thank you so
can.
much. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much. You can find these tips and other helpful tips on our website. We appreciate it very much. Still ahead, a traditional Hanukkah dish that's as easy to prepare as it is delicious to eat. So good. Back after this.